Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, Internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. It's time for a video where I'm going to tier out the top 10 songs in a given year according to Billboard Music. We have been doing this series. We have done to the point where we've gone all the way through the 2010s. The 2010s are done. They're finished. And now with this video, we are going to begin a new decade. We're going to do this through the 2000s, when I was coming of age. So some nostalgic moments for me, some tracks that are really down deep in the nostalgia bin, for better or worse. And yeah, let's go through these songs. Let's tier them out. Let's give some opinions, see if you agree or disagree. I know a lot of people who watch me tend to be maybe slightly on the younger side, so there may be some tracks here that are new to you. Try them out if, you know, they are, because maybe you'll get a kind of a sense of what the musical vibe was during this time. First off, at number 10 on Billboard's list, we have Toni Braxton with He Wasn't Man Enough. Now, this is kind of an interesting song to start off with because while this track was undeniably a hit, artistically and vocally, I wouldn't exactly say that like this song is the best show of Toni Braxton's abilities or a general reflection of the Braxton family musical dynasty. I think mostly on the verses here, the vocal performances on this cut are just okay. The hook does go off. The production from Dark Child on the track is quite groovy. The drums and bass are actually locked in really nicely. It's not really a bad tune either, but I just think the very quiet, low register delivery that Toni approaches the track with just doesn't really portray a lot of strength, a lot of passion, just kind of comes across maybe just a little dodgy, in my opinion. If you're looking to get a hit of what very early 2000s R&B, kind of transitioning out of the 90s, you know, sounded like and was all about, this is not a bad start, but there will be better examples later in this video for sure. I would put this one over in the C row. It is a decent cut. It's decent. Okay, next on our list at number 9 from Billboard, we have Matchbox 20 with Bent. I'm actually kind of astonished this song was enough of a hit to land on the chart this high because it's shit. This is some of the worst music the 2000s had to offer, for sure. I'm not even joking or exaggerating in any way whatsoever. This song most definitely did not come from the band's original, you know, run of singles that put them on the map. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. I must be lonely. Yeah, she says, baby. This track is awful. My God, when I first heard it, I was like, is this professional music production? I feel like I'm hearing something pulled together in GarageBand with like how washed out and distant the drums are, how overpowering the guitars are. The vocals don't even sound like Rob Thomas for a good period of the track. I can barely make out the bass sometimes, and it just sounds like a really huge fucking mess on the mix. Who mixed this thing? Was it someone who hated Matchbox 20? Was it me? Did I go back in time and mix this record to sound this bad? This is the worst song of the whole list. Okay, next we have Lonestar's country hit, Amazed. It's a cute little ballad. I think the chorus is quite good. I actually have very fond memories of the hook of this track. I think it's a decent song overall, but you know, the issue ultimately is that the vocals are just okay. The modern country production, while it may not be as dolled up and as soulless as some of the stuff that we hear now, certainly was so for its time. And furthermore, this track, while the chorus is very good, it does kind of suffer from sucky verse syndrome, which is a problem I've talked about on the channel numerous times before, where the chorus is really the only part of the song that is memorable, interesting, or compelling, and the verses are really just meant to be kind of a placeholder that lull you into semi-sleep before the chorus actually comes, and you're like, whoa, good part now. It's good part. Yeah, and as a result of that, I think I have to throw this one in the C row as well. You know, it's decent. It has its moments. When that hook comes on, I'm singing along too. But I think the rest of the track could be better. All right, what do we got coming up next? We have Savage Garden with I Knew I Loved You. Here we go. Yeah! Now we are cooking with gas. We are very pro Savage Garden on this channel. I know we don't often get to have a Savage Garden conversation over here on the Fantano channel or on the Needle Drop, but again, very pro Savage Garden. I knew I loved you before I met you. Man, if you wanna enjoy some buttery white boy soft pop R&B, Savage Garden is it. I think they've got quite a few bops and bangers, and this is absolutely positively one of them. Maybe not the most original sound out there, but one of the best in this vibe and in this field, in my opinion. I would put this over in the A row. Okay, what do we got next? We have Destiny's Child with Say My Name. Now we are really like on another level. This is mwah, 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 mwah. This is top tier. This is top shelf 2000s crossing over out of the 90s R&B. It doesn't get much better than this, folks. From the vocal harmonies to the production to the songwriting, my God, this is one of the most anthemic and fantastic choruses of this decade. Say my name, say my name. Like, geez, I don't really know if you can add any notes to this song. It's perfect. It's great front to back. It is endlessly replayable and more relevant now than I think it's ever been, with a lot of classic R&B vibes from literally this era coming back in a big way on a lot of contemporary records. I would put this in the S row. Okay, next on the list we have from Vertical Horizon, Everything You Want. Now, unfortunately, as we were kind of leaving that amazing, fantastic, groundbreaking alt-rock and grunge era from the 90s, that was slowly being replaced by a much more toothless, soulless, and gutless post-grunge and alternative rock era in the 2000s, and Vertical Horizon were certainly, helping usher us into that with hits such as "He's Everything You Want, He's Everything You Need." Actually, it's not one of the worst choruses of this decade, but I will say this: it is pretty insipid. It's not exactly got a great or an interesting sound to it. It's very bland as far as alternative rock goes. And this song as well, along with a few other cuts in this list, too suffers from sucky ass verse syndrome. The verses actually suck so hard, I actually struggled to remember what the fuck this song even was until I heard the chorus. That is how painfully unmemorable and boring the verses are. I couldn't even recall them, even though I had heard this song dozens and dozens and dozens of times on the radio in my youth. That is how bland and not special the verses are on this thing. I would put this over in the D row. We are giving it the D. Plus the name Vertical Horizon is terrible. Okay, next we have a face from the world of R&B that maybe some fans may not remember because, Joe didn't exactly have the biggest or the most long running career, but man, I remember as a kid, I was obsessed with and it's weird to think this, but I was obsessed with the production on this song because it has that like legendary little keyboard, like, oh, wow, like it was like a wow. Oh my God. I loved that little fucking keyboard lick, along with a few other things about the beat on this track. In retrospect, listening to it with fresher ears, more current ears, I feel like the beats and the bass could have had a bit more flavor to them. Joe doesn't have the strongest or most unique voice you're going to hear, but again, there are some cool and creative aspects to the synthesizers. Joe vocally does hold his own enough, and the tune at the core of this song is quite good as well. Again, if you're looking to get a better and a more interesting taste of what the flavor of this sound was as far as the mainstream goes around this time, Joe's I Wanna Know is not a bad place to start. I would put this track very solidly in the B row. Not mind-blowing, but still a good, solid, enjoyable cut that not only gives me a little hit of nostalgia, but I still genuinely, personally enjoy it to this day. Okay, Okay, we are getting into a really huge musical phenomenon of the late 90s and early 2000s. That would be the bit of a Latin craze that we had around this time before the current internet age, where it seems like, you know, there's always been like kind of a growing place for music coming from the Latin scene in the charts and on streaming and so on and so forth. Back in the day in the US, we would almost have like a short, maybe year or couple of year run of artists who are like huge in that vein and in that style, and then all of a sudden sonically it would just kind of like disappear from the charts. But anyway, quite possibly the leading face and name during this particular time in that craze in the 2000s was Santana. The record that he dropped around this time was just having an amazing run in terms of numbers. Maria Maria was one of the biggest singles off of the record, and it's one that I think is really good. The beat is fantastic. The bass is really awesome as well. Maria, Maria. Vocals are great. The acoustic and electric guitar passages are awesome as well, though I do wish the guitar had more presence on the song in retrospect. But yeah, it's a very good, solid, groovy tune overall, and I think a solid single for this album cycle. I would put this in the B row. You know, I mean, it's not the best Latin pop crossover ever, but you know, it served its purpose for the time. Now, of course, given Maria Maria is in the mix on this list, I think a lot of you saw coming that we were also going to be talking about Smooth from the same Santana album featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, which I hate this song. I cannot stand this song. I never enjoyed this song. Yeah, Rob Thomas like fucking ruins this track. I can't really explain it, be it through overplay or weird remixes I've heard on the internet lately. This song is essentially just like a meme to me. I just don't really take it seriously, nor do I take seriously these days, especially a lot of rock and pop rock music that came out of this era where you have a male lead singer who sings like this, and it's like the ocean under the moon. This life ain't good enough. I would give my world to lift you up. I would change. All right, so some of you may be wondering, what is the final song in this list? What was number one for Billboard for the year 2000? That would be Faith Hill's Breathe. 'Cause I can feel you breathe. It's washing over me. Which honestly is not that bad of a country cut. I think it's got a good instrumental to it. Drums hit hard, guitars hit pretty hard, the vocals are quality. The song, at least in terms of the chorus, is there. Super memorable. I mean, this is definitely a hook that I catch myself humming every once in a while. But again, if I'm being honest, you know, and especially going back and listening to it, this is another track that does suffer from
sucky verse syndrome.
Kind of boring verse syndrome. The verses are absolutely painfully drab and not interesting at all. They don't carry interesting instrumentation, vocals, a melody, nothing. I suppose maybe you can get yourself wrapped up in the lyrics a little bit, but it's not interesting musically or sonically. Just feels like a very drab placeholder to sit there just to make us wait for the actual good part that we want to hear. There's just like a lot of industry drivel out there like this that really just like kind of saves its best moments and parts for the hook, and that's it. And I think Faith Hill's Breathe is just one of those moments. But I mean, the hook is amazing though. It is a damn good hook. That is the year 2000 Billboard top 10 singles of the year tier list. We have a very interesting, you know, very even, mostly even kind of spread here with Smooth and Matchbox 20 at the bottom, like they should be. And at the top, we have Savage Garden and Destiny's Child. I feel like that is probably about as objective, you know, ranking that you can get with all this music. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Mwah. Love you. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that upworthy link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Santana Smooth forever.